this is my favorite part because my coup is successful and the fascists are on the rise. Hello you guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Jimmy, and today we are going to be doing a Hearts of Iron 4 narrated time lapse. It's a bit different. Last episode was different and you guys seem to like the time lapse. So basically what I'm going to be doing in this episode is giving you a walkthrough of everything that's happening whilst also doing a time lapse and occasionally stopping. Basically what I'm going to be doing is explaining to you everything that happened so that you can see for yourselves kind of what I saw as it was happening. So basically what we have is me Alright, now what we have here is rare footage of the current situation. It's not very rare that I freak out. But this situation is particularly rare because it is the only footage I have of this happening, where we had this little rebellion over here trying to take over, and yeah, that was definitely not very fun at all to have. We had me trying to just basically testing how powerful they were. My armies were getting kind of drained almost. Not necessarily drained yet, but they were a bit weak from all of the strikes. I couldn't reinforce as much. So basically what happened here were lots and lots of strikes. Now I was tempted to use a nuclear missile, but I decided not to destroy my infrastructure. I also weighed in my options of calling in my allies, but I didn't want to call them into the war in America, so that Alright, so basically what happens next is I get that done with. So now I'm trying the offensives to see how powerful my army is. I do a decent amount of damage, then I realize right about here that I can just reroute my divisions and cut them off in Alabama, and then get into the Florida Panhandle. Now what I don't realize is my troops are my tanks are not doing the greatest. They don't have too many reinforcements. They'd be a lot better off. I probably should have built some infrastructure, but I didn't. So basically what this game was just waiting for nuclear missiles. And then I would go in and then just cut them off and take all of their stuff. So you're going to see that in a bit. But yeah, basically this was a waiting game for the nuclear missiles. So right about now we start we really start getting the encirclement. So at first we weren't making too much progress, even though we had cut them off from the rest of the army. But right there is where we get their last port, and basically we just finished them off by nuking them. They can't get any resources, so the nukes are just devastating. So they were completely wasted right there. Okay, so basically after I do that, I expected to have a better run with their army. It actually did not affect them as much as I thought it would. I think they evacuated a lot of their troops. So basically I tried nuking them to get my front started. That didn't work. However, we did encircle some troops over there, which didn't hurt their army too much either, to where it made much of a difference. So that was disappointing news whenever that happened. Then I reroute my troops over to attack from Illinois to Indiana and then into Michigan, because I say, hey, I can take Detroit and simultaneously cut off Michigan's supplies. So then I go there and then I actually overrun some of their troops. So then now it's a waiting game again with the nuclear weapons. So basically I just sit there and wait for my nukes to develop, and then I nuke them again. Of course, that's just how it would go. And then I'd make more progress. So right there you just saw that nuke. I would also activate my frontal assault on the entire eastern front. And then of course I'd activate my super heavy tanks who are specifically focused on taking down Michigan. I also do some template changes, make my divisions a lot bigger, because I've got a decent amount of supplies to do that. So then basically more waiting, more stalemate until my nukes arrive. That's what, basically, I got the advantage in this by using my nukes. So basically, I nuked them, and I get right there at Detroit. I can't actually attack Detroit quite yet, sadly. So I just sit there and wait some more, reroute my divisions again, put more on there, and then we're taking it. And then we take it right there. So that's basically just, and then I start having to cut off their divisions. I get some troops from my puppet state, and then I attack those guys because I just have a lot of troops that are at full strength. So I just take this little area, and then now I try cutting off these troops and trying to get them surrender. So I basically have 2 encirclements now. I also cut off some troops in the north over here with my 5 divisions that I got from my puppets, or rather 4 divisions and 1 of my own divisions. And basically I used that to completely cut off their supplies. So now I have 2 encirclements, and I get rid of that one. I thought that the front was going to be a lot easier after I got that taken care of. It did not get easier, actually. And then, of course, I had lots of issues with riots. I started getting these lots and lots of riots. So things start getting more difficult as the riots come. Of course, I still keep on making progress with every nuke I use, so that a lot of it didn't change. So then I just make sure that that they don't have any supplies. Then I start adding guys over there to that front, and then I'm trying to figure out what to do. I nuke them again and make more progress. This time they are able to keep the land, though. They take the progress that I had just made with that nuke back, so it becomes even more of a stalemate. So that got really annoying. So basically we had that happen, and then of course now I have a little intermission here where I'm just waiting for a bunch of nukes to go up. But little do I know, my manpower and supplies are actually being drained, if you can believe it or not, by all of the garrisons I have to support, because there are just so many rebellions all of a sudden. It's just amazing. It's terrible. So we have all of that, and then I get back on and realize, oh wait, I don't have any divisions or anything. So now I start staging a coup, actually, on the Americans, and of course I'm weighing in my options. I become a genius and put down a military police and 1 infantry template, just to so that I don't use up so many resources trying to put down the riots. Of course, it's not enough. So, and I quickly realized that as my divisions do not gain anything. So it just keeps on being ridiculous. It's just terrible, and I'm just waiting and waiting. And yeah, so the coup starts being staged. It keeps on being staged. So right now I'm just trying to deal with the crisis. I have a terrible manpower crisis. As you can see, my manpower is going down a bunch. And basically I'm just waiting here, and then they start making progress on pushing back. And then I take down their progress, and then I successfully defend, but that's only because I was able to use my nukes. So really, that was just horrible. Those riots were extremely terrible. Now, here comes my favorite part. This is my favorite part because my coup is successful and the fascists are on the rise. In America, of all places. Of course, in this timeline, they swing from democratic to communist to fascist, and then they reform the Confederacy in this timeline, and then they go back to communist. So they're a communist confederacy somehow. and then basically I stage a coup because fascism is a lot more popular in this timeline, but of course it's communism doesn't allow for such things to take hold. By taking things hold, I mean beating the crap out of anybody who doesn't like it. Now here's the part that really makes Silly Mustache Man angry, is I basically leave the Axis all of those silly willies.
1, 2, button on my shoe. 3, 4, shut honorable door.
And then I sign a pact of non-aggression, and then basically what happens next is after that I decide, you know what, I have the spirit to form my own faction. First I get these exiled divisions out of here, and then basically what I do next is I decide that it would be a good idea to form my own faction, especially before the Fascists, or the Axis rather, could invite them to their faction, and then of course get involved in the war. So then I basically just come over here and name my faction the Greater Fascist Pact, I believe is what it's called. And then, yeah, basically, Silly Mustache Man really hates me now after this. So, yeah. Also, no matter how many times I say fascist is amazing, that's a joke. So, please don't get offended, silly willies. So, yeah, fascism is great as a joke in Hearts of Iron 4, a game where it gives you benefits of having complete and total control over the populace. So basically what happens next is there's lots more cleanup on the Western Front. Basically that's what the rest of this video is just watching the cleanup and dealing with the politics of switching a faction. So we basically got all of those divisions encircled and destroyed, and then we focus all of our power on the east. I dropped a nuke right there, as you just saw, trying to test them. Of course, my divisions are recovering from being drained by all of the rioting. But you guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you ring the notification bell so that I can see you in the next one, and like the video. Bye bye.